Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is a summary of the Gran Turismo Manufacturers Series, Series 1, Round 3. We are in Fuji International Speedway and we are here to drive 20 laps in Group 3 cars. Fuel and tires will be an issue and hence we have to make a pit stop. Both soft and medium tires are required for this race. I practiced this race a couple of times and found that a strategy that might be viable would be 9 laps on the medium tires, then pit and do 11 laps on the softs. And I found that this allows me to push all the way. The car that I'm driving is the AMG Mercedes-Benz, which is quite good on tires and on fuel, I must say. This is the fields I'm playing against. I am ranked 20th, i.e. last of all these players. We all have a DR score around 15, 16, 17,000. We're all B players with an S ranking. Let's dive into qualifying straight away. This is my qualifying lap. So as you can see, we've put on the soft tires because we want to go as fast as possible and qualify as high as possible. The straight is very long in this circuit and I decided to space myself in a way that I did not have the slipstream, because it means that I would not have any trouble going ahead if the car in front of me would be slower than myself. You can see the cars up in the distance. It was probably a good decision to have a bit of distance because we've caught up to the group. I think it looked like they've been fighting a little bit, which is exactly what you don't want to do because it will slow you down dramatically. I'm hoping that around the final corner I can actually get into the slipstream, but unfortunately just missed out. My qualifying time was a 38.0, which is only just behind number 1 and number 2, which is quite good, gives you a lot of confidence. So quickly check whether we are on the right settings. We want to start on the medium because that was my plan. Perhaps I should have started at the softs, I'm not really sure. But I chose for the mediums. So we're going to do 9 laps on the mediums, 11 laps on the softs. And we are underway. Turn 1's coming up, we all have relatively high speed already. I brake alright, and then I make a very, very big mistake. When you start the race, just like now, your tires are cold, and that means you'd have to go quiet, you have to go slower to the corner, accelerate a bit less quick, and I touched the side. I completely muck up. Luckily I didn't crash, but you can see the back behind me caught up, and now suddenly I am fighting with people I shouldn't be fighting with. I try to drive my own race. These guys around me are probably on soft tires. I'm on the slower medium tires, and here is where it goes completely downhill. I managed to spin, and while I try to get back onto the road, the whole pack is overtaking me, and I am in P20. At this point in time, I'm thinking, shall I just give up or shall I continue? And I decided to continue because it's a long race. There's 30 minutes left. There's a lot of room for errors to be made, not just by me, but also by the opponents. And I thought I'll just go for it and see what happens. We have to serve our penalty. Oh, someone spun there, so we're now up to 19th. We are 2.5 seconds behind the guys in front of me, but you can see they are fighting, and anyone who's fighting will be slower, so it's relatively easy to catch up to them. And you can see here that in a few corners I've caught up more than a second already with them. There are quite a lot of cars in my view, so a lot of potential for going up in the ranking. The aim here is to get into the slipstream. One person is serving a penalty, so that's one spot up the ranks already. You can see here I'm catching up quite fast, so I can just overtake this guy straight away. Hopefully he backs out of the corner. But he's having none of that, and he tries to go around the corner, like he goes around the outside. I know this, so I give him space. Decides to back out, but you'll see that he'll have a very good run out of this corner, and suddenly he's in my rear. Suddenly he's creeping up again, and you'll see in the next few corners we have a nice little battle where he goes on the inside. I have to give him space. But now I am in the slipstream, and I overtake him. He goes to the left, so that means that I can go to the inside of the corner, which will be the faster way, and therefore I might be able to gain the position again. I luckily braked in time, got the car to slow down and make the corner properly. So we are now in 16th place. It's a bit of fighting up ahead, and we benefit from that. The Audi is now next to us, so we have to be very careful not to take him out. I take a wide corner with the goal to have a fast exit, which works. We climb up a position and we are still in slipstream, which means we can join the pack and see what happens at the end of the straight. One car serves a penalty, 14th position for us. But as you can see in the rear view mirror, the car behind me is coming up very quickly, and here I make a little bit of a mistake. I brake too late and I accidentally tap the Audi. Luckily he did not crash, so yeah, I spin around, which is fine. I just made a mistake there and clearly was not paying attention. So we're back to 19th. Over 3 seconds behind. This is definitely not the start we wanted to have, but the race is still long. Watch the cars in front, they're touching, which slows them down, gives me the chance to sneak up on them, and hopefully gives me the opportunity to be in the slipstream by the time we start the straight. I'm still quite far behind, but you can see the guy in number 17 has a penalty as well, so if anything he'll come closer to me and hopefully I can get the slipstream. Once again someone went off, so we sneak up another place, and I'm well outside of the slipstream. Someone's going in for an early pit stop. They had the medium tires on, so they now go to the soft tires for the remainder of the race. It's 15 laps. It's possible, but you have to be quite good on tire management. Contact up ahead. This is where I really pull out and just let them fight it out. I don't want to be involved. I just want to drive my own race. I'm on the medium, they're probably on the softs, so I just want to follow them and enjoy their slipstream. The Nissan in front of me takes quite a wide line, so I dive on the inside. There's still the Nissan in front of me that I can use for slipstream. Which worked out well. We're within 7.5 tenths of the car in front of us. So again, we are in the slipstream. You can see the time difference between me and the Nissan is coming down, which means we're gaining on him. There might be a possibility for an overtake here, but I decide not to. The guy behind me is coming on the inside. I probably should have defended a bit more. And once again, I try to give him space, but as a result, I run wide. And I probably should not have given him space. The guy on number 18 is also coming very close from the back, but I managed to keep this place. And once again, it seems like every lap is the same, that these two Nissans in front of me are fighting, they're battling hard. And as a result, I can get close again, just in time for the straight. The Nissan in front of me has a little bit of a moment, so I dive on the inside. But as a result, my line is a bit compromised. And I just managed to lose the slipstream here. So I hope that the guy behind me is going to work with me and bump draft me to get back into the slipstream. But you can see he's moving to the side, so he doesn't want to bump draft me to help us both out. He goes on the inside, but I managed to stay in front of him. Both cars are going very wide. The Porsche touches the side of the curb and has a bit of a moment. He's lucky to be able to catch it. Well done. It slows him down a lot though. Tucked in behind him, slowly coming up to his bumper, and then I make a little bit of a mistake. I brake too late. There's contact. He goes off, unfortunately. I'm really sorry if you're watching this. It's completely not my intention to ram anybody off. Luckily, I get a 2-second penalty, and I'll watch out to see if he, during the penalty, can overtake me again. If not, I'm happy to give the place back. Serve our penalty here and look in the rear view mirror to see where he is. There he is, he's overtaking me, so very good. Penalty system works, and as a bit of a bonus, which is well deserved, I'm gonna get overtaken by another car, and suddenly I'm fighting at the very back of the pack again. Turning out once again a nice little fight. It's interesting, I know I'm quicker than them, I think I'm quicker than them, but it's about not making mistakes. And you see I make mistakes, get penalty, get little bits and pieces, get it wrong, and as a result it's slowing you down. So if you can drive consistently without making any errors, you can do very well in this game. Hyundai in front of me takes a bit of a wide line. I'll brakes a bit early, so I decide to throw it on the inside. It doesn't really work. Then the Porsche brakes very early. I don't know exactly what happened there, but there's a bit of a fight, and I get another penalty. Once again, someone spun, so we're now up to 14th position. We might serve our penalty now, but I actually think we're going to serve it later. So we are lap 9 out of 20, so this is my last lap on these tires, and then I'll go in the pit to change my tires for softs. So because this is the last lap, I decide to push and see if I can get rid of the guys behind me. Getting a little bit of oversteer here, but I managed to catch it. So you can see we drove away from the guys behind me. I'm now over 2 seconds in front. We have to serve our penalty here, or 1 second penalty, and then I'll dive into the pits to get the softs. See the guys in front of me are in the pits as well, but they started on softs. I started on the medium. So the guys in front of me are now going to be on the slower medium tire, while I'm going to be on the faster soft tire. You can see that I need to have a little bit of fuel as well. So the little diamond up right of the little tank sign is shows you how much fuel you need till the end of the race, and we are out in 17th place. The guys ahead of me are 7 seconds ahead, so that gives me quite a lot of free air to see how what kind of lap times I can put in. The leader of the pack was also on softs, so he's now going to go on mediums. Catching up quickly with this guy. You can see him just disappearing out of the shot. We gained about a second, so we are catching, but not as fast as we want to. By the time we're at the straight, we are only 3.5 seconds behind the guy. So during this lap, we already made up 3.5 seconds, which is actually quite nice. We have a couple of people diving in the pits, so that means we can overtake them without any fighting. So we're up to 14th. We just make it to get in the slipstream of the Audi, and now we can see another place up ahead. With a bit of luck, we can overtake this guy, and the goal now is just to keep driving, keep lapping at reasonable pace, try not to get too much disturbance from the drivers in front of us, and with a bit of luck there's a few more people pitting and we might gain a few more positions. I think there's good value in reviewing your own videos, because here I'm gonna make a bit of a move that, looking back, is not probably not very smart. The Audi goes a bit wide, a bit slow, and I think I can get a faster line in, so I actually push where I could have just waited for the straight and overtake on the straight. In this particular case, I've made contact with the Audi, and he clearly is now his race is a bit compromised. So passing over the finish line, starting lap 13, we've made a 1:39.4, which is not too bad given that we were behind the Audi, who was a little bit slower than us, I think. Number 12 and number 11 are clearly inside, so it's up to keep your head down and just keep driving, see if we can close the gap. The gap is now 2.2 seconds, and clearly the person in front made a little bit of a mistake, because now suddenly the gap is changing, so slowly we're gaining. Really trying to take it easy here because I want the slipstream of the Nissan, but yeah, I felt like he was very slow, so I better overtake him. The problem, of course, now that I've lost slipstream to the Peugeot in front of us, while one of the other guys goes into pit, actually a few people go into pit, and suddenly we are up into 9th. Nissan GTRs coming up in my rearview mirrors very quickly. I was afraid for the almighty dive bomb, but luckily that didn't happen, and you can see him disappear in the mirror. So we've built up a little bit of a gap now. So we should be safe from dive bombs in the future, unless we make a mistake. And also in this meantime we are catching up to the Peugeot in front of us. Hopefully be able to overtake and get us into 8th place. See here, I'm really holding back, let the Peugeot go first, because I don't want to bump him. I'll just wait for the straights. And of course, while I say this, I now see that I overtook. I had an idea, or like I had the feeling that in this race a lot of people took a very wide line there, and I often took a shallower line, which often was quicker. So I'm not really sure what's happening there. So there's a bit of clear track ahead now. It's 4 seconds till the number 7. So head down and see if we can close the gap. see that the tires are starting to degrade now. We have little red marks appearing. This car is surprisingly good on worn tires. So you can see I'm sliding a bit more understeer. But overall, this car is still very much controllable. There's still 5 laps to go, so the tire wear is not going to get better than this. But as you can see, even with the tire wear, we're now setting a purple sector. So it's finally that we have a bit of clear track in front of us that hopefully allows us to set a few good laps. Try to stay within the slipstream, and luckily we just were able to stick with the slipstream. So now we're going to get a good pull, and hopefully we're able to slingshot past the Mazda into 7th position. The only issue is not to outbrake myself here, but I manage. Mazda comes around the corner well as well, and now there's a 4-second gap to the person in front of me. See now that when the track is clear, I can make some reasonable lap times, pretty consistent in the high 38s. Really the fun part of having the grippier tires in the end. The 4.4 seconds that number 6 was ahead is now reduced to just over 2 seconds, and also number 5 is now in clear vision, and there's a reasonable chance number 5 and 6 are going to battle a bit with each other, which would bring me even closer quicker. Unfortunately, I make a little bit of a mistake here, and definitely not in anywhere close to the slipstream. The gap to the guys in front of me is increasing. No harm though, because we still have 2 laps to go to see if we can get the position. waiting patiently, and this time actually the Beetle ahead goes way too wide. He completely overshot his braking point. And what you see there, what you saw there from the yellow car, is that the yellow car then suddenly makes a mistake that's quite similar. I do that a lot as well. It probably just means that you're way too much looking at the car in front of you, what he does, and following his action. So as long as the car in front of you doesn't make a mistake, you're fine. But as soon as the car in front of you makes a mistake, often and as we saw here, the yellow car also makes a mistake. As a result, we climb 2 positions basically for free, and we're now up in 5th position in the final lap. Number 4 is over 6 seconds ahead. There's no way we can make this up unless he makes a mistake. So that is the reason why we keep pushing. If this person makes a mistake, we might gain another position. If not, it's also fine. We've came from the back. We were at P20. We're back at P5 in a good fight. I've got the fastest lap. It's unlikely that someone else is going to break the fastest lap time now. So that's a good result as well. Overall, a very enjoyable race with a lot of fighting, quite aggressive moves here and there, but generally good strategy. I think it worked pretty well. 11 laps on softs in this car is clearly possible. You can see the tires are really going now, but overall it's still drivable. Finish here, we end up 5th, which is quite nice. This was an amazing race. I started in the top, completely binned the first few corners due to oversight on my part, ended up 20th and slowly was able to fight my way back to 5th. I think the strategy itself worked alright, although it's probably the medium tires that I started on that cost me to bin the start. I should have just been a lot more careful and realized that the cars around me would be on soft tires and therefore had a lot more grip in the corners, so that means I can't follow the cars in front of me. Overall, a good result and a very enjoyable race. Anyways, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.